Hi, everybody. Well, last week I picked up a really nice lab server for to add to my lab because I found it for a really good price on eBay and it was relatively close to me to just drive over and pick it up. So, it's an HP ProLiant ML350 Gen 9. It's this the front panel for it, the front cover, and a measuring tape. It measures 9 inches wide, about 18 inches high, and we have 30 inches deep. There's plenty of pictures of the server. It's really heavy, and I don't want to pick it up to show you guys, but you can see how it looks like. They're everywhere. I just want to actually talk about my impressions in regards to this box as a lab server and how cool I think it is for such an application. Now, uh, the gentleman that sold it to me wanted to use it, but he told me it's very, very loud. And once I picked it up, cleaned it up, and tested it, it turns out that it's not the case at all. It's not loud. It's nowhere near loud. Um, I will explain. So this is where I put it on my network, and that's the ILO interface. So we can go ahead and log in. Now, here it is. I upgraded to the latest version of the BIOS that's available, which is 2.80, latest ILO, and whatever else I could get from the HP support site. Upgraded to the latest available versions without entitlement. So let's check this. This is, like I said, it's been running for close to a week already, and it's nobody in the house even noticed that it's on. Uh, my laptop uh, makes more noise than this thing. It is absolutely incredible. This is the hottest part of the server, which is the RAID controller. And as you can see, it's reading at 57 degrees. It bounces between 56 and 57 degrees. Uh, and I was expecting to remove this part because I was going to either use the onboard SATA controller or I was going to boot it from the network. But looks like I don't need to do that because if you are not doing any RAID that requires parity calculations, it's not going to get hot. And you can just leave it in there, which is perfect. Uh, I did not expect this at all. If we check the fans, we'll see the fans are at 6%. They sometimes it goes up to 7%. Once in a while it rev up to like 10 to 15%. Again, I have no load running on this. I just plugged it in and left it alone because, well, I didn't have time to do anything, but I left it on to check if it works, if it has any problems at all, and it's been running for about a week. Now, it comes with two 500. This particular model came with two 500-watt power supplies, and that's more than enough. One of them is not plugged in because I'm not going to be running both of them at the same time. I don't need to do that, and they're hot swappable. I'll remove it. This. It's 500 watt 80 plus platinum rated, so up to 94% efficiency, up to 42 amps maximum on the 12 volt rail. This is really high quality stuff. Okay. So this server came with a Xeon E5 2620 V3, 6 cores, 12 threads at 2400 megahertz. I believe the turbo boost is up to 3.1 or so. Doesn't really matter. Um, it came with 32 gigabytes of RAM. I ordered an extra 64. The I ordered the four 16 gigabyte modules, which go for $43 on eBay. The $43 each, so it's about 180 after shipping and tax and all that other stuff. So right now it's been chugging along. I've actually, as I've mentioned, I didn't think I was going to be using this RAID controller. But it turns out that I have serial attached SCSI uh, SSD, which is this guy here, MK800 JVYPQ. Uh, Latest firmware. I was able to make a RAID volume out of it, RAID 0, because it's the only member of it. And I've written to the entire drive at maximum speed, and the RAID controller did not go any higher in temperature. So if you're not doing any RAID configuration that requires parity calculation, this will not get hot and the fans will not rev up. Let's see what else is here. Oh, this will be just a summary page of all the firmware that is installed. There, so I installed some of it was already the latest version, some of it I installed uh, from the support site. Now, of course, the RAID controller came with a battery backup module for the cache, and without it, the cache would be disabled. I don't need the cache because I'm not running an array. That would benefit from the performance, the extra performance that the onboard cache would offer, and it looks like it's been manufactured in October of 2015. So this server looks like it's been it's not one of the earlier ones that have been produced. So that's pretty good, and I'm not going to be replacing this, and I really don't care about the warning message. So let's see. Um, Everything here is fairly self-explanatory. Power usage. Power usage says it's using 58 watts. And this is not even at the lowest setting. I have it set as where is this power setting? I have it set as dynamic power saving mode. So it is running dynamic. It's if I would take it to a static low, it's going to down clock to 1.2 gigahertz per core, and that is going to make them slower than Raspberry Pi. So that's not, even for a lab, that's really not adequate. But this server is really, really efficient. So it's hovering under 70 watts. And they actually, right now it's at 60 watts. Maximum usage 87 watts, probably when I was installing something, or yeah, most likely when it was doing something. But it hovers around this point, really power efficient, really quiet. I did not expect this thing to be so quiet. Um, let's check it out. I'm running ESXi 7.0.1 on it. I still need to update it to the latest patch version, and it's at 101, so we can log into it. This version uh, is not officially supported by VMware, but it runs just fine for a small, for a lab environment. It's more than fine for a small production environment. If you have like less than 20 servers, that should be okay. If you don't need like ESXi or vSphere to know if anything is going wrong with the hardware of the server, you can monitor it externally through ILO. This thing, it's possible to have this thing send traps somewhere. So just because it's not officially supported by VMware doesn't mean it doesn't work. I mean, I have ESXi running on a desktop machine, and I'm gonna do a follow-up about how that is running, and so far it's been running so good. I just want to give it a little bit more time. I'll wrong credentials. There. So here is ESXi, and it's been running, yeah, close to 6 days. There it is, and uh, it doesn't have access. I installed this from a bare image. This is not an OEM specific installer, so it would not have all the sensors available to ESXi or anything like that. It's, let's see, maybe I didn't dig it. Oh, I stand corrected. Even if you're using just the bare install, without the HP customization of the image, it still gives you all the sensor data. I did not expect that, but nonetheless, it's there. So another thing is it's standing right next to my radiator, but the radiator heat is coming up. It's not going to the side and into the server, so it doesn't really matter that much. It intakes air from the front. So overall, they go for around $500 on eBay. I got a really good deal because I got one that's in really good shape and it came with more RAM than you would get for like a $500 price point for this machine. They are not as readily available as the rack mounted, the dedicated rack mounted models. But some of them are available, and I think this is like the coolest lab server. If I knew that I could get this like a month ago when I was setting up my ESX ESXi host on this motherboard over here, uh, that's the reason why I got this motherboard is because my previous motherboard was crashing with ESXi. So this motherboard actually works fine with ESXi. So far, it's been running for about 15 days. I rebooted it myself when I was patching it, but otherwise it gave me no problems. It does have a little bit of load on it, but runs perfectly fine. And this motherboard is 300 bucks by itself. And this whole server was 350 with everything. Processor, memory, 4 gigabit network ports, a dedicated ILO port, mm, everything. I mean, this is a great lab server. If you could get one at around 500 $500 plus add some memory to that, so I think it's worth it. Of course, if it's fully working without any issues. So this is my initial impression video of this ML350 Gen 9 server in a lab environment. And if I noticed anything, I'll post a follow-up video at some point. I'll also be adding 64 gigs of RAM to it. Uh, and possibly expanding that further with more RAM and an extra processor somewhere. But I'm not going to need more than 100 gigabytes of RAM in this for a while, so I don't see myself getting an extra processor for it until much, much later. When I'll need more RAM, but it's nice to have a lot of RAM in a lab environment because you can run all these huge enterprise images and you can have multiple instances to test redundancy and simulate all kinds of failures, and you can run nested virtualization, which I'm going to be doing also to test all kinds of scenarios. And you don't need a lot of processing power for that. You just need a lot of RAM to run it comfortably without any issues. And this enterprise grade SSD that I had left over will be more than enough, which is how much do I have usable? 600 gigabytes usable. Yeah, that's fine. It's more than enough. I'll probably put another SSD in there in case I need it or something because uh I don't want to do. Originally, the plan was to run an Ethernet cable, but then I have to drill the wall. So I'm just using a MikroTik in pseudo bridge mode to get IP connectivity to my main network. From here, it works just fine as long as you don't use anything other than IP. I might make another video about that, like bridging with a MikroTik, wireless bridging with a MikroTik. It's a nice little device which you can do a lot with. So MikroTiks are useful. So that being said, I think I'll end this video on this initial impression of this ML350 server now. And thanks everybody for watching. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.